Welcome back to Just in Our Minds. I'm here with a badass. This dude's a outdoor aficionado. He's an outside dog like me. He's come up through some crazy life story. He's been able to hold records in powerlifting, ultra marathons now, correct?
Starting.
Yeah. And very well-rounded coach and heavy metal enthusiast.
Yep.
This is Josh Lipp.
Thanks for having me.
So thanks for coming in, dude. We get started at the beginning, if you like, and just kind of tell us some of the trials and tribulations you faced growing up.
Yeah, so I'm 28. I was born down in SoCal in Orange. I was born with cerebral palsy, and so that affects for me, the right half of my body. It's spastic cerebral palsy. I'm not going to bother defining that. If everyone has Google.
Cool, yeah.
Just look up spastic cerebral palsy. I think diplegic is a specific thing, but I don't know. It's all out there. You'll figure it out. It's a very, very, very common physical disability. It's actually like the single most common lifelong physical disability. There's like millions of people in the U.S. that have it. But it's still like pretty underfunded when it comes to research and treatment and stuff like that, although we're coming a long way with it now. It doesn't really get better per se. Like it's essentially brain damage. Usually during birth, it's almost always like at birth. I think if you get it like in a car accident or something and it presents a similar way, it's not technically cerebral palsy, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure. And then depending on what level or when you get it, I'm sure there's different variations on maybe the nervous system being able to recalibrate or something. But.
Yeah, and so essentially your motor units just don't like function correctly. It's like little fine movement patterns like this are super easy on one hand, and like I've practiced this a lot, but I still sometimes I just can't touch.
I even notice you bring your hand.
I have to think about that hard, yeah. And my right hand is much better than my right leg, but this is still like really hit or miss sometimes. And it was much worse when I was a kid, but I got real lucky with the way my parents raised me. Like I was lucky enough to be able to go to physical therapy when I was like from a toddler till 8 or 10 years old. Which is basically just me playing games with the physical therapist while they forced me to stand on my right foot and do stuff with my right hand. So I had a great physical therapist. My parents didn't raise me like a disabled kid. They made me play outside. I had a semi-hardcore Mexican dad. Physical disabilities didn't exist. I'm playing soccer. I'm riding bikes. It doesn't matter. And so that helped a lot. I had a good group of friends that also like didn't hold me back. They didn't baby me. They were just like, keeping up. And so you go run around as kids, you jump fences, whatever, and no one's waiting for me. And that helped, you know what I mean? Because I have met a lot of other people now with cerebral palsy that are either the same severity as me or maybe like just slightly worse. And it's completely physical. A lot of times it's paired with other disabilities that affect the mental, but cerebral palsy is strictly physical. But I've met other people that have it and they have much more of a not like a real mental disability, but you can tell they're behind. And not like this is a bad way at all, but I think it's more so because if you're babied that much as a kid and you don't get the same chance to like problem solve and socialize and live a normal life, it kind of hinders your mental development. I think that I got really lucky with that. And so that's like, I don't have any sort of mental hindrance whatsoever, just because I was able to problem solve like a normal kid. And I was able to go outside like a normal kid and run around and do all the regular things.
And being able to, I guess for you too, I can tell just by meeting you, you're like, how the fuck am I going to get this done? Like
basically,
you're like, fuck that, I'm gonna figure it out.
Because that's all you got, right?
Yeah.
I could do everything. It just takes a little longer.
Yeah, I could do everything. Just gotta get this sumbitch moving.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You should have seen when I was a kid. Like, I mean, I'd run with my arm flapping around up here. Like, it looks whack. It looked not normal. Like, you could tell that kid's fucked up somehow, some way. People were pretty nice about it, surprisingly.
But I could also tell too, you're somebody that you're like, don't fucking treat me any different, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
And then, what were some of the biggest hurdles you had through that process growing up? Would you say that like maybe some of the things that you've developed or you learned how to overcome some of those aspects?
I think the biggest thing is eventually just kind of get over yourself and you're like, okay, I'm alive and I got to figure this out somehow. I had like mental health struggles as a kid kind of because of that. Kind of you feel singled out, you feel different, you feel like no one understands you, and which everyone feels that way too, but it's a little bit more noticeable, I think, when you have like a one striking clear thing that does set you apart. And again, I was never like socially ostracized because of it either. most of that was just in my head. And once I kind of just got over myself, I was like maybe a sophomore in high school, and I was just like, I'm sick of this self-pity shit, basically.
Right.
And it's just like, I'm going to do something about it. And that was it. And then I just started I started lifting weights. I started doing other things. I was always active anyways. I even ran track my freshman year. I got last in every single race. But I learned that I just like training. I showed up to training every day.
And you do it for yourself, right?
Yeah, I just thought it was fun to just go try hard. And the coaches were like always using me. Actually, the coach hated me because he thought I sucked. He thought I didn't try hard until I'm assuming he talked to like administration or the head coach or someone. Because then like on a dime, he flipped his whole like attitude towards me. And I think he was like, what the hell is this kid's deal? Why does he suck so bad? And then someone told him I had cerebral palsy, and he's like, oh. And then his whole attitude changed.
Oh, yeah. He's like, oh, no, he's actually the most badass
no,
guy
literally.
here.
He went from like hating me to then he started using me as an example for the rest of the team of like, why don't you try as hard as this guy?
Yeah.
And I thought that was hilarious. I'm like, someone told him.
Fucking Michael, what the fuck you doing? He's over here.
Yeah, literally. And I was like, I don't. I was like, coach,
please don't do that.
Here
I'm just here.
But yeah, I was like, someone told him. Like right there, I was like, he knows now.
Yeah.
I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, that's good too, because then you're not using it as an excuse for yourself. He's like, try harder. You're like, I am fucking trying.
Trust me, bro.
yeah. Fucking let me borrow your right leg, bro.
Yeah, literally.
Try it with my body.
As a kid, I was like, I want a bionic leg. I was like, I get rid of this thing.
Yeah.
I didn't want it at all.
I always wonder too, like the Neuralink stuff, or eventually there's gonna be something that you're like, all of a sudden it's just like.
I don't know. I know that with the actual Neuralink stuff right now, they're focusing a lot on like blindness and other things like that, and it's like crazy cool what they're doing.
You ever listen to the guy the video gamer that was on Joe Rogan? And like he can actually like the way the Neuralink runs. He was one of the first people to get Neuralink, and like he has like basically he says like he can see like when he plays games he can see like a target differently now. It's almost like built in. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I didn't listen to the guy who actually had it, but I listened to Elon Musk and then his whole like the team behind Neuralink itself and like the surgeon himself too, and like what they're doing with it all. And it was crazy fascinating. It's kind of scary, but if it's used like for the right things, like could be an insanely good thing for humanity. I think.
You know they're using it on some sort of super soldiers
it's
out there. Yeah,
if
it's going to the public, it's already somewhere. There's some crazy super soldiers.
Yeah.
So that you were in track, and then what sports did you play or hobbies did you start developing once you just stopped giving a fuck about your the syndromes?
After that, basically it was just lifting weights. Like I would always go out with my friends. We'd just like play tag or like run around and do other stuff like that. Like my parents are cyclists, and so I learned to ride a bike still really early. I was really into mountain biking for a short period of time. And then I just had a bad crash, and I was like, okay, that's stupid.
I don't need more issues after this.
Yeah.
That's what kind of separates me from extreme sports anymore, because I'm like, I know what I'll try eventually, because you get bored of what's going on. The same reason I don't have a motorcycle anymore, because I'm like, 100 was fun.
That's my
like,
current
this
dilemma
says
now.
130.
Yeah.
You know?
That's my dilemma now, which we'll get to.
Yeah.
It's just like, if that's going to kill me one day, I'm not going to start that.
Yeah. That's where the people are like, why don't you snowboard and blah, blah. I was like, I do jujitsu, and that's so rough, and then I have to add more and more into the body, you know. And then so as your family, were they kind of extreme sports, kind of outdoorsy?
Outdoorsy, yes. Extreme sports, no. Like so, all of my vacations as a kid were just camping and hiking, basically. So I grew up hiking and doing all that stuff. Like I was at the bottom of the Grand Canyon when I was a toddler.
Okay.
And I walked some of it, spent most of it on my dad's back. So I'm very lucky to have grown up like that too. We started backpacking when I was in middle school and high school. Continued on that. Even when my grandparents could no longer like hike and camp, they still would just go rent a cabin, and we'd still be like in Mammoth in California or in Sedona or somewhere else too. So that was all the vacations. I'd been to Bryce and Zion before I even moved to Utah. I'd been to, I don't know, the list is long now at this point of all the national parks and all the places
most
we
places.
went to. Yeah. Most places on the west, like in California, Arizona, Colorado, US, or Utah, Yellowstone, like most of all those parks.
Dude, those are some of the most beautiful areas. I mean, but then again, too, the East Coast is pretty too, because we have a farm out in Arkansas now. They have some really cool spots, like some of those caverns and stuff like that. The Tamaldehyde or whatever, you know, like the salt caverns out here. They have a bunch of those out there, like big amethyst beds and stuff that you can go into. Yeah. Like going into like, well, you get it. You go cave dwelling or anything like that. Just like how cold and damp and different it is. It just feels, you feel like you're in a different world or something.
Yeah.
That makes
Yeah.
sense. Like hiking, that's something I realized too, and I'm sure you get it. The whole 90-degree angles everywhere. Like I tried to be an inside dog and do the blue collar life, but I grew up outside and like went to that stops. People are like, I don't know why I'm depressed, and I traced it back. And I'm like, dude, you used to hike every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, backpacking by yourself and like just do solo camping trips on a whim. And now you have like we're losing that as a society. We got these 15-minute cities and stuff.
Yeah, I even distinctly remember being 14 or 15 or something maybe, and we're up in the mountains near Bishop, California, and I'm just like sitting there on this like massive waterfall, filtering water, just staring out at the huge expanse, and 15-year-old me was just like, wow, I'm nothing. You know, like in a good way though.
Yeah.
Like you see your place in the world. You're like, oh, all these little things we worry about, that doesn't exist. That's not real. I'm just sitting here like, I could die right now. And it's just like, we're good. You're just sitting there at peace. Like
100%.
Totally good with your place in the world. And there's nothing else that does that like the outdoors. Like seeing just how huge the world is.
Backpacking trips, things like that, especially if you're going way off the beaten path, you have nothing else to worry about but what's right in front of you.
Yep. Yeah.
And then most people don't even know how to filter water, which is wild.
Yeah. Even though it's so easy now, you just screw it onto a bottle and squeeze it through.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I still have like one of the little pump ones too.
That's what we had back then. Yeah.
Yeah, it's somewhere. But yeah, nowadays the straws and everything else you have that you just wear around your neck is so crucial. Before we move into coaching, like what do you think are some of the things that more people should do when it comes to outdoors?
Just go outside. Just go outside. I have a lot of elitist thoughts, but honestly, like I think gatekeeping's fucking stupid. Like, just go outside. As long as you're respectful of the people and the place, I don't care what it is you do. If you go walk the shoreline trail, if that's all you got, great. If you go walk a park, great. If you go to a national park, great. Just go outside.
Right. Do those things.
That's all I got.
Do those things that you want to do and try to build into that lifestyle. Yeah. But I agree too. It's like everybody's got their blueprint. So being able to help people create their blueprint. I just like giving people ideas on maybe where to take it.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite excursions you've gone on?
Oh, I think the single one that comes back to me that I keep thinking about that I can't wait to do again now that we're getting to summer is free soloing the West Labs of Olympus.
Okay.
That was so sick.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Do you know what that is? Have you seen that?
The free soloing? Like,
no,
the West
West Labs specifically.
I don't think so.
If you look at like Mount Olympus, if you look at the northwestern face of it, it's just this like huge granite wall. And it's like maybe like this angle or something. It's like 1,600 feet. It's a real like graded climb, but it's a very easy like low grade climb. It's 5.2 to 5.5, which is very, very, very easy climbing. It's like technically it's very easy, but like most people free solo it. So most people just go up there in like running shoes and just go climb with no ropes or anything. And we did that last summer and it was so cool.
I'm gonna have to try this.
It was,
but you got. I mean, apparently, some people got to be careful of the elevation.
I would
and
say
the muscle
like, if
endurance.
you're not a climber, don't do it.
Yeah.
If you just hike and if you scramble a lot and you're comfortable scrambling, great. Go spend like 6 months climbing, then do it.
100%.
At least.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, I need to get back to bouldering and climbing this year. Now that my neck's good, I'm like,
if
I'm
you
ready
can
to go.
consistently, easily, reliably do like V4 slab, then like you're fine. You have all the skill set you need to, as long as you have like the mental capacity for it.
Yeah, because you don't want to be halfway up that thing and decide
there's no
you wanna
bail.
go
Like
back.
there's not a way to bail. If you bail, you're calling search and rescue, and you're dealing with however that is, like paying the fine of the helicopters and all that stuff. So like it's technically easy if you have the skill set, and it's really, really cool. But I also know people that are like V12 climbers that they're like, I would never do that. I'm like, dude, you're 3 times better than I'll ever be. Like, and so it depends on your own risk, your own skill. Yeah,
because that cortisol spike when you're up there too, like
yeah.
like
See, and I'm just like, this is the coolest thing ever.
Yeah,
like, I'm like looking down. Like, this is so sick.
Have you ever done any of that like canyon swinging?
I did a rope swing last year in Moab, and that was also that was so cool.
Yeah, I want to do that this year because that shit freaks me the fuck out. Watching it. Usually I'm good. Once I do it, apparently I'm like, but like doing that.
Yeah. I did not expect like how it felt. I got invited. I was like super lucky to have some friends. A friend of a friend invited me, and like they set it up themselves. They have all the equipment themselves. It's not a company or anything. They just go and they invite their friends, and that's it. And so I was lucky to get an invite and then make friends and continue getting invites. The last one got rained out, unfortunately.
Oh yeah.
But I have no problem with heights, right? Like I love heights. I don't stress out about things like that. I'm really good with like, okay, I'm good. I'm not in control of this. I'm fine. Or I am in control of this. And so I'm fine either way. Just like, whatever it is, I'm good. And they get me all hooked up. We're ready to go. And you're standing on the edge of the cliff. And he's like, okay, jump. And then my brain was like, what the fuck are you doing right
Yeah.
now? Then my brain, like all the instincts, like deep human instincts of like, you don't jump off a cliff. What are you doing right now? And that was such a crazy experience. 'Cause I've never had anything like that. Because there's always some semblance of like, I'm in control of my movement and what's going on right now. And I know that I'm safe because I know that I've practiced this. And that one, like now you just have to like jump and pray that the equipment's going to work.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's it. And for me too, I'm like, I'm also 200 pounds. So like,
I mean, I watched like 250-pound dude jump.
Yeah.
I watched like 10 other people jump before me. And then I watched like 15 people jump after me. I knew logically that it was fine. But still, like, yeah, that deep human instinct was like, don't jump off a cliff right
Yeah.
now. As soon as I did, that went away. And it was just like crazy fun. But yeah, that was super cool too. If you get the chance to do a rope swing.
Yeah, I'm gonna, because I've had a couple of people offered up, but I think I'll do it this year. Just so I'm like, because I watch people and I'm like, if I get a nervous feeling, I'm like, you have to do that now.
Yeah.
But that's like the same thing. But and it's always right there in the second you jump. Like for me, I'm capable of doing it, and then right when I do it, I'm like, oh yeah. But there's that problem too. It's like, could I do a swing like a squirrel suit?
See, that's I'm like, no, because that's gonna kill me one day.
Yeah,
that's the one I talk about all the time. Like, I won't start that.
Have you gone down to Jump? Do you know where Jump is in American Fork? They have this AI jumpsuit, so you could fly down. But you're in the suit, then you jump off this ledge, and it kind of holds you.
Yeah.
But there was people freaking out. They wouldn't jump off the ledge. And I was like, it's not even real.
Yeah.
If you fell, you would fall like maybe.
I mean, the brain's a powerful thing.
It is.
It's a powerful thing.
I'm doing that might be something to at least, I don't know if you wanted to, because then it might.
I mean, because it's going to make me want to do it more. So I don't know. Yeah.
They have like an advanced one too. They said that I should come back for, because they were like, oh, you were good at this. I was like, yeah. But I'm same thing. You know what I do is like, if anything, I ever get to that, I'll watch the splat video or something. Somebody trying to go under a bridge and the ting, done.
Yeah. I mean, like every single person who's advanced the sport of wingsuit base jumping is dead. Like, it's almost a guarantee. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, you're running.
I know that I would like it, but that's the problem.
Yeah, and then there's that thing too. It's like kinky weird stuff. Like, how many times do you have kinky weird stuff until you get too deep in the weeds and then you don't have any more kinks?
Yeah.
That's why I was back off of that. I was like, I like a dirty vanilla flavor, you know? Because I'm like,
things simple.
Yeah, people are like, why don't you do this? I was like, you ever try a backflip on a BMX bike and realize you're not capable of it yet? It fucking hurts.
Yep.
Chest to the back of something, or but that's why I still skateboard and stuff. But every time I do it for a couple weeks, I start dropping in, and then I'm trying to do board slide a handrail again. And I'm like, nope.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, same things. I did downhill longboarding for a little bit, for a couple of years. And I got to a point where I realized, okay, I'm going to need to like fall and get hurt a lot to get better.
Right.
And I didn't want to do that because then I couldn't lift. And I was like, well, I care about lifting more. So that's 100%. That, I guess.
Yeah. And you're like, then next thing you know, you're in full
which I was
gear.
already. Yeah. I already had the gloves and the full face helmet.
Yeah.
And like I went 50 miles an hour going downhill on a piece of wood. I was like, and then after that, roller coasters weren't very scary anymore. And I was kind of bummed out because I loved roller coasters.
That's how I felt with zip lines. Like I did some fast zip lines in Hawaii, and I'm like, this isn't as fast as a motorcycle. Yeah, I will say one was it was in Kona, and it was through like the jungle. That one was pretty fast. And I was like, okay, here we go. But yeah, that's the same thing. It's just like save it so you can have some.
Roller coasters are actually like 30, 40 miles an hour, which feels a lot when you're like, when you have wind in your face and all that stuff. But you've been on a motorcycle, or if I went like 50 miles an hour on a longboard, and like my friend was following me in a car, and like, so we know exactly how fast he went. And then I watched him fall going 45, and I was like, ooh, ow.
Yeah, he's just walking that one off unless
he did actually.
Did he did the pop up and run?
He did.
Yeah.
And then we did it again because he's like, I'm not gonna let it shake my confidence. And he fell again in the same spot. So he fell twice on the same speed, like back to back. And then he was like, hey, let's go home.
Yeah, it's like day 2 or day 3. He's like,
yeah, he had to go to urgent care to get like professionally wrapped up because it was just road rash. Like he still got pretty lucky because he had helmet and all the gear, but he just had crazy bad road rash.
Oh, yeah, no thanks.
But it was still like bad enough he couldn't treat it himself.
Yeah, we used to in Utah has too many hills to bomb. Because in California, like I used to.
Well, we were up in the mountains in California, like near near Wrightwood, if you know where that is.
I'm not sure.
Wrightwood and like Mountain High is a ski resort up there. It's like the whole Angeles Crest, all the Los Angeles mountains. Yeah, it's like on the eastern side of that.
Okay,
like near the Cajon Pass. Okay, 15.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah, those are some There's some beast trails, but yeah, that was one of those things too. Is like I think my logical mind comes in. It's like, hey, bud,
Yeah.
and I'm like, you're right.
Yeah. It's super fun. I'd definitely love to get back to just like cruising around on a longboard forever. But
Would you ever do one of those? Canyon swings?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I thrill seeker. I like those kinds of
Maybe
things.
we could see if we can get a group. Maybe Andrew and them will do it too. Andrew owns this place.
Mhm.
Certified for skydiving. I had a couple jumps. My next jump was going to be like a solo jump, but
Ooh.
so yeah, I eventually want to get back into that, but that's exciting.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I know some guys who work on they work for GoPro. They're
Mhm.
skydivers for GoPro. Like some of the best in the world. Ogden, Utah actually has like 7 of the top 10 people. I don't know exactly.
Oh, wow.
A lot of the top skydivers come and train in Ogden, Utah actually.
That's interesting too. Well, I guess you need both because then you can go to California or somewhere that's sea level and you can have free fall for a little longer.
Yeah, it's something about the air and how thin it is.
Yeah.
You just fall faster here. So if you get good here, like you can be good kind of anywhere. And so people travel from all over the world. Guy that took me on my first jump was from like South Africa. He's like, I'm here for
He's here?
skydiving in Ogden, Utah. Like,
Even here over like Colorado?
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, people say like this is the spot, the Ogden airport. I don't know, kind of interesting.
I'll
Get
have to
fucked,
look into
Colorado.
that. Yeah. That's another one too. Is that I like you have a certain weight limit you can have when you do the was it tandem, right? And I'm like, damn, that's why I don't want to be over 200 pounds because you start losing out on fun shit.
You're gonna lose your man card though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't you hear all those fitness jokes? If you're under 200 pounds, you're not a man.
Oh, I
Like
didn't
the
even.
all the victim
I
weight
don't-
jokes.
Oh, I don't even watch that. Like to see most men over 200 pounds make me a victim. But yeah, I just seen that and I'm like, what? There's a weight limit, but that makes sense. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't have 600 pounds of people fall into the
Yeah,
ground.
I would not trust the equipment at that
You
point.
know, you're gonna need like a helicopter parachute or some big ass thing. So, what got you into coaching?
So coaching, so I started lifting as a junior. We had like a weight training class, and that was just like free time in the weight room. And you know, as every 17-year-old does, I bench press and curled every day.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next year, as a senior, I did it again. I actually had 2 weight training classes as a senior, and so I had like a total of an hour and a half of like weight room time just in the middle of my day.
Hell yeah.
And on YouTube, I just found powerlifting somehow. I don't even remember like what I was looking up or like how I got there, but I found powerlifting on YouTube. I saw Dan Green was the first person I saw, the first like name that I remembered. And if anyone knows powerlifting, like he's a legend in the sport. He's been around for a long time. I've met him too. I like coached a competition that he did a comeback meet at in 2021, and that was super cool to watch him. And so I just started being like, wow, that's really cool. Like those guys are strong and I'm not, because I was not
Yeah.
very, like not very physically able in any way. And it's just like, I'm gonna do that. And so I started doing that, and I just started whatever I saw on YouTube, whatever articles I read online. I walked in the next day and I'm like, okay, guys, this is what we're doing. To like my 3 friends, I'm like, this is what we're doing. And then the next day I'm like, hey, all that, never mind. So we're doing something else now.
Yeah.
That was stupid. I was wrong. Every other day, basically. Saying
Yeah,
that.
stacking up new ones. I have a new one.
Yeah, basically.
I feel like a lot of those coaches and athletes and just the like anywhere from bodybuilding, powerlifting, Olympic lifting, those like 80s and 90s were some of the most pivotal coaches and different people you could see. I mean, there's a lot of good data now, but it gets too deep in the weeds. But if you look at across the board, I think a lot of that stuff's coming back, especially from like the European or the Russian like programs and the nervous system training. And like, I'm like, it's circling back around and people are like, well, this is
Things
actually
are
the
trendy.
best.
Yeah, definitely. I've been in it long enough to see a couple of the trends circle back around now.
But I feel like some of the most pivotal training is that style training of those years, at least in my opinion, from what I've seen.
Yes and no. It kind of depends, I think, where you're looking at it from and what lens. Powerlifting has definitely evolved a lot to where like it's the top end of the sport is very much its own thing, very much has its own innovation, its own ideas, its own everything. And there, we understand kind of how we got there. We can trace it all back like 20, 30 years of like this idea led to this idea, led to this idea. And this trend led a swing to that trend and back to whatever. Like we can trace it all back, but definitely at the high end now, it's very, very much like innovating on its own and not really pulling from other things as much as it used to. The generalized fitness world and the bodybuilding world and even like intermediate beginner powerlifting is very different from what's currently happening at the high level of powerlifting.
Like we're
If that
saying,
makes
it's
sense.
most things. Yeah, it's always going to be that way. Yeah, I guess for the entry level too, it's just like you said,
This is just gonna be
try
whatever
doing
someone
something.
happens to follow online and whatever
Yeah.
algorithm shows them. That's whatever they're gonna see as trendy. Because
Yeah.
a lot of things people tell me, "Oh, this is real trendy," and I'm like, "I've never seen that. What are you talking about?" Like, I believe you, sure, but like, I've never seen this.
Yeah.
So everything is different trending now too, depending on just like what you're looking at, what
Yeah.
type of fitness content.
Exactly.
You
It's so
consume.
much. It's so crazy.
there's
You
so much.
you get sent or send one video and it completely changes
Exactly.
your algorithm.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. It's good, but it's also way overstimulating.
Yeah.
Like Charles and me and you were talking like to just fucking keep it simple for a lot of that stuff. Unless you're at your caliber, what you're doing.
Yeah, most of it's just like go try hard for the next 5 years, and then you can try a little. Then you can figure it out in a more complex way.
So
But-
then you're lifting with your 3 friends.
Yes, I'm a senior in high school. We're just lifting a bunch of weights in high school. I eventually was like, I found some like pretty legit resources online. I was following a program. I think in high school I weighed like 135 pounds, and I deadlifted 385. I bench pressed 200, and I squatted like 285. With zero guidance, no one teaching me anything. Just whatever I watched online, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do that. And I told my friends, and so they just kind of started calling me coach, just because I just was the one that was most into it. And they're like, "What do we do?" I'm like, "Well, this is what I'm doing." And they
You
just
start
did
getting
it too.
you can start getting interested in the details
Yeah.
and the
And so
metrics.
that's all I did. I mean, like family road trips, I'm like downloading articles, I'm like reading them online. Like I just became like obsessed with them. And I graduated high school. I joined like just the local commercial gym, Fitness 19 in California. And there happened to be like a big group of powerlifters there. And one of the guys in the back, he also worked there. I would see him like bringing his barbell in and out. And I was like, hey, if I buy my own barbell, can I put it back there too? And he was like, oh, just use mine. I was like, sick. And
Isn't that
so-
fun how the universe kind of gives you those gifts when you
Yes.
lean into it?
Yes.
If you can see them. Because
Yeah.
having those, like, that's not coincidence.
Right. Yeah. All I needed was the balls to just like say hi to him.
Yeah.
And he's a super cool dude.
Usually they want to teach you.
Yeah,
and
they
then
do.
you're already putting in the work. And I'm
Yep.
sure you didn't feel strong, hypothetically, in front of them. But
Yeah.
your numbers for your size, they're like, holy shit,
Yeah.
there's potential there.
For being like a 18-year-old like disabled kid who didn't know weighing 130 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I was like, I guess I'm doing okay right now, but I didn't feel strong. At
Yeah.
all.
Yeah, because you see the potential and they see probably some lack in form and things like that they could critique and help you fix. And it's like, oh, damn,
Yeah.
what's your numbers? That's actually, let's come on
So
over.
it was like the whole summer we're all basically training together, and then they were like, hey, this is competition we're gonna do. You should sign up for it. And I didn't know anything about like how to compete, how to sign up. Like I knew the very basics of the rules, but not how competitions ran. But I was just like, okay, like I didn't even really think about it. I was just like, okay, why not? And I just signed up for it, and then it's just like figure it out. And all of them were big guys. So like I competed on a Saturday. They all competed on Sunday. So they weren't even actually there. Like on the day that I
Yeah.
competed, they were just like, hi, what's up? And then they left because they went to weigh in the morning and then they left. And I was like, okay, well, I just had my girlfriend that was at the time. And I was like, okay, can you help me with this? And she had no idea. She just did whatever I asked on the day, which is great. But yeah, I don't know. I did it. It went well. I got myself hurt on my last deadlift.
Oh, man.
I just like a minor hamstring
Yeah.
strain, which now I'd rehab in like 2 weeks, but then it was like 3 months because I didn't know anything about
Yeah.
rehabbing. I basically just did nothing and then slowly worked my way up again, which worked well enough. And it just kind of kept going from there. Eventually I joined a powerlifting gym a year or so later. And I had a bunch of friends that were just like, hey, we're going to do this one meet. Can you like write me a program? Because they just knew I wrote my own programs for myself. And I was like, I guess. And I basically gave the same various versions of the same program to like 6 people. And they all went and did a competition. And then after that, one of them was like, now what? And I was like, that's a good question. Give me a second.
Yeah.
And I coached him for the next 10 years. He just stuck with me. I was like, for free too. Like I never charged him anything. I was like, you can be my guinea pig for the rest of my coaching career. And he was
Yeah.
like, let's go.
I love it. Beta
Yeah.
testing on people that are down to do the work.
Yeah.
And it makes such a difference.
Yeah. Never like we're still good friends. We still talk almost every day. He's now running as well. So now I'm just like guinea pigging all my running ideas onto him too. Like
You want to try this out?
yeah, basically.
Yeah, I
So,
love that.
Very thankful that I had like the opportunities that people just started asking for help, and it just worked out that way. And then being at the powerlifting gym, the people were like, hey, you should start personal training. I'm like, okay, sure. Like 19, 20-year-old me is like, it worked well enough for a year or something like that. And I realized I did not have the social skills to talk to the general population people who are like 25 to 50 and they just want to lose weight and I did not have the social skills for that. I was super antisocial. Like I did not talk. I didn't have social skills. I didn't even not want to use them. I didn't have them at all outside of like my core friends that I just grew up with. Like I did not know how to talk to people.
Yeah, especially
did not know how to relate
so
to
many
people.
different versions of people
Yeah.
too. So once you understand one person, then there's 10 other people.
Yeah, again, you as being a personal
Yeah.
trainer, like they don't really care that much
Yeah.
most of the time, and like I didn't know how to deal with that, with just kind of without being upset at them or annoyed at them or whatever, and so I just let that phase out. And when COVID happened, I only had like 2 or 3 in-person clients, and then I was just like, bye, or go online, and that was it. Some stuck online, and the other ones left, and that was it. And so I was like, basically just full on powerlifting coaching only from kind of like 2019 and on. And that's all I was doing. My number one priority in life was my own lifting and my own coaching. And that's all I cared about.
It helps so much to have a niche because then everything just revolves around that circle.
Yeah.
So with that, like how much have you competed yourself for?
I think 15 competitions, 15 or 16
And then you hold some
competitions.
records, correct?
Yeah, I had California state records for a period of time. Those are broken now. I did have a junior national deadlift record for a period of time. Junior is like the 2023 age group. That's long broken now too. I do currently still have the Utah state records. I have the squat. I tied the bench, so I don't technically have the bench. And I have the deadlift and the total.
Hell yeah.
I still go to all the competitions here in Utah. I coach at all of them, or I referee at all of them. There's like no one in my weight class really competing. So it seems like I might have them for a while, even if I'm not going to go break them again myself.
Which is good too, because I mean you're strong at your weight anyways. So it's gonna hopefully maybe it'll inspire people to try to come in there.
I
at your
hope
weight.
so. I mean, I don't know. I just want to inspire people to just go try anything. You know what I mean? Like
exactly.
the whole get rid of I can't do that. You can. It might not be worth it.
Yeah.
But you can.
Yeah.
At least just lead with that.
Where your priorities at?
Exactly.
You can always make time for something.
Yeah.
If you got an hour a day to scroll, you got an hour a day to learn how to power lift and get at least one meet in there.
Yeah. Yeah. I went to nationals 4 or 5 times in various federations. There's a bunch of different like governing bodies in powerlifting, and some are more legit than others. And so USAPL is it's a whole complicated thing. It's the most competitive one on a local level currently. And at the time that I was going to nationals, it was the more competitive one on a national level. And then there's a bunch of international drama where they broke off from the international federation, and then another like federation formed to go to the international federation. So basically like the other one has all of the elite lifters and like no one else. So they have like the top 20 in each weight class, and then they have like 100 members total. Their nationals is like a couple hundred lifters. USAPL still has like 1,000 lifter nationals. It's huge. And so it's bigger still for like the average person, if that makes sense. But yeah, competed nationals, like got top 20, top 15 a couple times. My main goal was to get top 10, and I realized that wasn't really up to me anymore. That was up to who shows up in the sport. And so I kind of let go of some of those other outside goals that were just basically arbitrary.
Is that what kind of
control?
Is that what kind of brought you into the wanting to do ultras?
I was getting burned out. When I did move here from California, I lost a lot of the community. And I moved here because the gym that I was at in California closed.
Okay.
Like I managed that gym for a while too, and like that's the same gym that I started going to back in 2017. That gym is where I started coaching. It's where I like started being a real lifter. Like my whole development basically as a 18 to 24-year-old happened in that gym. Like made me who I was. And that gym closed. And I was like, fuck. Now what?
Right. And that was probably around COVID time, right?
It was in 2021.
Okay.
August 21 it closed.
Yeah. That was hard for a lot of gyms.
COVID actually was great for us. like we closed in March of 2020, like everyone did. And then June of 2020, we opened. We weren't allowed to, but we just did. We were just like, let's see what happens. And nothing happened. We were totally fine. We had someone come from the city or from the county and being like, hey, follow these rules, please, but we're not going to do anything about it. We're just like, okay.
That's good.
And that was it. We functioned completely as normal. So like my life went back to normal during COVID. Obviously people were like pretty aware and pretty careful, and like we didn't enforce strict rules, but people were generally clean, and if they were sick, they didn't come. And like as far as we know, we didn't have any real outbreaks from the gym. I think we all just got really lucky when it came to all of that. As far as I know, my whole area in California was, again, not strict on rules. I was in like Riverside County and San Bernardino County. LA County was crazy strict, And then my counties, like no one enforced anything. All the sheriffs were like, do whatever you want. All the businesses did whatever they want. It was such a weird time compared to like everything else in the world. It was such a weird thing.
Yeah, that dude. The smaller areas like that, or like less inner city style, big city areas, that I love those.
Yeah,
Like
it's
that's
good.
and then of course then it come June you have people eager to get back in, so you probably scaled a little
so
bit.
our gym exploded. my coaching exploded.
They're just all watching YouTube videos for 3-4 months.
Powerlifting as a whole exploded
Yeah.
post-COVID, and even like powerlifting coaching did, because now there's an even bigger need for quality online coaching. So like it in some ways helped powerlifting. And so all that happened. And then once I moved here and I joined a gym here, and it was good, it just wasn't the same. It wasn't the same. And I could tell that my head wasn't in it the same. And my like first 6 months of like lifting here were horrible. Like I kind of didn't go anywhere. I didn't make any progress. Like, I mean, the life stress of moving alone to another state was obviously like a factor, but
Elevation and stuff too. That I noticed
different climate, different environment, different everything. My whole life changed, and I came here with like no friends. I didn't know anybody here. I just picked up and left, and so all of that was a really big factor. And then I just over the next like 2 years, I just slowly got more and more burned out, and now I have easy access to everything that in my brain was after powerlifting, and so I had easy access to go drive an hour and go camp, to go drive 20 minutes and go hike, to go climb if I wanted to. I had easy access to everything else that I ever wanted to do, that it was easy to put off in California because it wasn't easy access there.
And it's
like,
easier
like,
to
it's over there.
It's like either cheaper or more affordable, or like we have more available too.
And all my friends that I was making were all doing that stuff. And so then it was just like, okay, I was like gone every single weekend, and I was just like, it's like, I don't want to be doing an SBD day on a Saturday for being in the gym for 4 hours when I could be like out in the Uintas just fucking around, you know? Like, I just didn't have my desire to dedicate my whole purpose to powerlifting was just waning. It was waning fast and waning hard. And I even took a step back from lifting for like the first time ever. I'd never been off program. I'd never reduced my training days. I'd never missed days. And I went down to 3 days a week lifting for like the first time ever for a whole summer.
Did that affect your psychology at all? Because I know sometimes as humans, we can identify heavy with things.
At that time, not quite yet. Or at least I wasn't fully aware of like just how, I wasn't quite aware in the moment of how burned out I was getting. It's really easy to look back and see it. And we all, like, I knew what burnout was. I'd coached burnout. Like, we were obviously all aware of these things, but it's still different recognizing it in the moment when it's happening to ourselves. And so I wasn't fully aware of like just how burned out I was getting. I thought that I was managing it well enough. And because I did pull back, I was like, okay, I'm gonna pull back on training. I'm going to be gone on the weekends and I'm just going to lift in the week. And it was all good. And that was fine for a little bit. And then like 6 weeks out of nationals in 2024, which is actually here. I was like, okay, we got nationals in Salt Lake. Like all my friends are going to come here. Everyone's going to come to Salt Lake. I'm like, I got to go. I got to give it this one. And I dedicated for like 6 weeks and I got like 85% of the results that I should have gotten because that's how long I basically worked hard for it. And so again, it wasn't a bad meet, but it wasn't like a good one because I knew that I wasn't in it.
You start seeing the writing on the wall.
Yeah.
One foot in, one foot
and then
out.
I was just like, after that, I was like, I have no desire to step into a gym. And so I knew that I needed a break. I knew that I was going to take a break. I was like, I'm going to chill for like 2 months, do whatever I wanted, and then we'll get back to it. Well, it's been a year and a half. So I joined a climbing gym. I started climbing. I made a bunch of new friends. And I was like, it's been 2 months. It's like, I don't really want to lift anymore still. So I was like, I'm just going to keep climbing. I'm going to keep hiking. I'm going to keep doing all this other stuff. And
the human body needs that kind of stuff too, in my opinion. You know, do what you want, but like my version of human, like it just feels good climbing things, and it's good to change things a little bit.
And I just never. And the more I thought about it, the more I was like, I don't want to dedicate my entire being to this thing anymore. And I knew that I know that I can't just like go half-ass it, like to get back to where I was and get beyond where I was. I knew that wasn't going to happen, and so I did do a couple months of like serious training about a year ago, like last March, April. And I had like 2 months of like serious training for like just squat. And that's when I squatted 500. And that was kind of the last like big milestone that I really wanted. And I was like, okay, that's good enough.
Yeah.
And
time for something new.
yeah, and then I was like, okay, well, I got a backpacking trip in July, so time to go start hiking again.
Yeah.
And now when I think back on it, like I squatted 500, I bench pressed 315, I deadlifted 600, and these are all completely arbitrary numbers, but they're like big milestone numbers, right? And they're also big enough that it's not just I'm strong for my body weight. It's just strong,
Mhm.
right? Like no one's gonna argue with the 315 bench or a 600 deadlift. No one's. People might say sumo, but whatever.
Whatever, you got it.
You know, and I was just like, that's kind of it. Those are the numbers that I had in my head for years. Those are the numbers that I was like, I wanted to do them all in a competition, ideally, but the more I thought about it, the more I was like, I'm okay with that. You know, like I'm good with that.
Yeah.
I'm satisfied with that.
And
I gave it everything I had for that 9 years or however long it was. I was like,
And some
I can
people
live.
get too stuck and they just get super bitter with their
Yeah.
life.
yeah,
And that's like being able to expand your horizon. We're
Yeah.
we're creatures that are supposed to evolve in some ways. So like being
Mhm.
able to tap in and expand your horizon for movement and fitness is huge.
Yeah, I was always fascinated by the idea of ultra running. You know, I'd like watched a bunch of documentaries on like the Leadville 100 and these other races, and there's just something about the psychology of like, why do you want to go run for 28 hours straight? Like, I don't know, something about it just seems like it's just straight suffering. Like when you're when
Mhm.
you're 28 or like 28 miles left, and you've already been awake for 26 hours, and like, what do you do there? What do you do? What does it do when it feels like you're like completely dead, like you physically can't take another step, but you got 8 hours ahead of you? I was just like, I don't know, I kind of want to see what that's like.
Yeah, right.
For whatever reason.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot of reasons and I've delved into my own head, but I was just like, that I want to see what that's like.
But proving things like that to yourself,
Mhm.
dude, that's such a level up. Because
Yeah.
then your ceiling just starts getting
Yeah.
is vaulting upward, you know, and then
Yeah,
eventually they
and it's
pop
just
through
cool.
that glass ceiling.
And now that I'm like in that world and I see like the elite performers and running, I'm like, dude, this is crazy. Some of these athletes are insane. And then I'm just fascinated by human performance.
Mhm.
So I'm just fascinated by like elite athletes in every sport. Like I love watching stuff on like Usain Bolt or on Michael Phelps or on anyone, any athlete in any sport, extreme sports, regular sports, anything. I just think like human performance at its peak is so cool.
It's wild too with certain sports like ultra marathon running. Some of the people you see that are just like, huh, that's not the person I thought would.
Some it's not. It's
Yeah,
really
it's not. You
not.
just wouldn't
'Cause-
guess.
And you do have a really broad range of characters because you
Mhm.
have the David Goggins type.
Yeah,
But if you look at like some of the elite, like, cause he's good, but he's not elite.
yeah.
He's not the one winning these races. The people who are winning these races are like the exact opposite of him. like David Roach is a good example. David Roach holds the course record for the Leadville 100. It's a 100-mile race. Everything is above 10,000 feet elevation. It's like you got no air up there. You climb up to 13,000 feet twice. I think there's like 18,000 feet of total gain in the whole thing. And David Roach is like a super, much more like feminine energy, like calm, not a hardcore David Goggins type by any means. He's super kind and loving and like always spreads joy, always happy, always laughing. And it's not an either or. It's not like one personality
No,
type's
just
better than the others.
different.
It's just the exact opposite.
Yeah,
But this guy ran it in like 15 hours. He did an average 9:03 mile for 100 miles in those conditions,
ugh,
which is fucking psychotic.
that's crazy.
At another one in the Javelina 100 in Colorado or in Arizona, he did a 7:20 mile pace for 100 miles, and he got second. He didn't even win that one.
Oof.
Like some of like the elite people that do this stuff is crazy. Like I can't even fathom doing that. We could go run a 9-minute mile right now. I guaranteed all three of us could go do it. And you think about doing that at 13,000 feet altitude for the next 100 miles straight?
Nope.
It's like mind-boggling.
My feet would fall apart.
I mean, quite literally,
Yeah.
they do anyways.
Yeah.
Even the people who are
Yeah.
conditioned for it, their feet
Yeah,
fall.
like
It's
that's
just-
the first thing I could think of. I was
Yeah.
like, ah.
And so now I'm just like, okay, how do I get? I'm not going to get there, but I'm like, how do I get there? How do I get?
What's
even-
my version of
Yeah,
that?
what's
Yeah.
my version of that? And I'm just fascinated. By
So
it.
how many miles did you do the first one you did?
I did 20 miles.
20
so it's not
miles.
even an ultra technically.
Yeah.
An ultra is
But-
anything over a regular marathon.
and then your goal's 50, right? Or
I'm
maybe
aiming for.
was
I
it-
was aiming for 50 in October. We'll see. That 20 felt pretty damn hard. I think I definitely can, but I think it's going to depend on like where races line up. If I even want to like register for a race, if I'll
Mhm.
just go do it out on my own somewhere. We'll see. We'll kind of see. I have some ideas. There's a 37-mile one in Ogden in September. I'm also thinking about trying to do like Kings Peak in a day. Kings Peak is 27 miles. I would just need people that can do that with me because I don't want to do that one alone because it's super remote.
I might be down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's fucking do
I
it.
mean, I might need to go do Mount Olympus a couple times because I used to do Spartan races and I did cross country and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's in there.
So you have a base, yeah.
Yeah, and like I should have like some of my races for Spartan, the Beast. I was like I almost finished top 25 at least, but I also went with other people
And
that
if you have a
weren't.
big basic conditioning and you start now, then like by that time frame, we can definitely ready for Kings.
Dude, because I said that because it was like the people were like, what? Like, why would you want to do King's Pick in a day? No one does that. I'm like,
dude, people do it all the time.
yeah.
Because I backpacked it last year and we saw multiple people doing it in one day. Like people do it all the time.
Whereas like Timpanogos, this guy that he didn't even look. I mean, he had jack legs, but he looked kind of dad, like just big barrel chest. He was probably in his 40s. He just runs by me and then runs back by me on the way down. I was like,
and Kings is like the same elevation gain as Timp, but it's across another 10 miles. And so like it's Kings, if you spread it up into like 9 miles in, it's super mellow 9 miles in. And then you have summit and back 9 miles. That's the hard part. And then you have a really easy 9 miles out again. It's like it's definitely a runnable course, basically. Very, very much so.
Because I've put a lot of time and effort into jujitsu, but I think I want to cut back on a few days and start doing like more intense running.
And there's something about like how you said just being a human. There's something about just like running around in the mountains with your friends.
I
like,
love it.
It's just
I love
fun.
it. And now that they
It's
have like
just
the bone
fun,
collecting headphones too,
Yeah.
to where I could hear around me, because I didn't like that. I didn't like having headphones in, but I like nature, but sometimes I like listening to like Viktor Frankl just tell me how I'm a bitch. You know, man search for meaning.
Yep.
Well, I was like, well, this isn't an internment camp, so.
You're like, well, I'm not suffering that much.
Because like most hikes would be about 4 hours, so that'd be the book, and then I'd find something I'd like just listen to myself cry on the way down or whatever. I don't know why I like to try to hike things as fast as possible either. People are like, why do you do this every time? I was like, I don't know.
I go back and forth.
Yeah.
I try to hike and enjoy it, and it's easy with my dog because then I just like go slow with him and like let him enjoy it. But I also hate standing around for no reason. It's like I don't want to stop. I want to go at an easy pace, but I don't want to stop. That's how I hike usually.
How did you get into like what was the like the physical change that you would say for some? You don't have to go into every movement and stuff like that, but what was like kind of like the road to victory for you from switching from powerlifting into climbing and or at least running?
So the biggest thing that I noticed actually was kind of like a slap in the face almost was I think that I took for granted how good I got at powerlifting and I think I forgot how hard the first couple years were. Because when I started getting into climbing and running, and especially climbing is extremely coordinated, right? Like there's so many fine movement patterns and so many little things that you would never realize. Even if you go climb 3 times, you'll never realize it. Like once you got to go climb for a year, and then you'd be like, wow, this is so intricate and so delicate. And I'm really bad at that stuff. I'm really bad at that stuff, and I'm really bad at big, dynamic, explosive, coordinated stuff all combined. And because I basically have half of me that's coordinated and half of me that's not. And this side like is always natural, very easy, super easy. I could have been like not pro athlete, but very easy even as a kid. And this side is not completely useless, but it feels that way sometimes.
Yeah.
And so
not even.
all
so
of my like basic symptoms got worse. Like everything that I had like, oh, this hasn't happened in like 5 years. All of that came back. Everything got worse again. And like I was getting super frustrated, and I was seeing a bunch of people that I'm like, I should be better than you, which obviously is not how sports work. We all know that's not how sports work. Like skill is a thing, and I had no skill in climbing just because I was strong. And so it took a long time for me to basically just relax, like pull back, don't try as hard, just practice, focus on like learning the skill, have fun, don't worry about it. And then the same thing with running. I knew that I was gonna be really bad at running. I knew that I had no delusions that I was gonna be a good runner. So I wasn't as mad about it. I wasn't really frustrated with it. I was really bad still. But the same thing, like it took me a month just to get a regular running gait and just to like run normally without my whole leg just like seizing up randomly or being cramping the whole time or whatever, like spasming the whole time. So that took a while, and that was just really annoying. And I was like, I definitely forgot that the first 2 years of powerlifting were also like this.
Yeah.
I took for granted like how good I got at it.
Your nervous system's like, what the fuck are we doing
now?
now?
It was just like, this is not what we know. This is not what we're good at.
Do you think that, like, I mean, apparently, probably, but like, do you think powerlifting helped your nervous system?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because there's a lot of studies.
That was essentially the avenue that like made me an able-bodied person. I feel like that was the avenue that like unlocked the world for me. And I think a lot of different things could have done it still, but I think powerlifting specifically kind of it was a good place because it is a fairly static sport, right? Like obviously squatting requires coordination, but it's not dynamic. It's not the same as like sprinting or jumping or climbing. It's inherently a stable movement. And I didn't have to, once I walked out, my feet didn't move, right? I'm just going straight up and down. And so that was much easier for me to learn. That made sense in my brain. Like that was good because I was pretty damn strong and stable anyways if I didn't have to move.
And just those like static, like isometric, like
Yeah.
holding, it
So,
just
like, that
ignites everything.
I was better at already, or like that wasn't as negatively affected as other things were. The big dynamic coordinated stuff was always like, that's just not happening basically.
And I feel like big coordinated stuff for anybody, it's easy if you don't get trained by a professional, it's easy to miss those little, and you can fuck up, but it's still, you don't see it in the process. But, and then for you doing powerlifting in general, especially if you're getting critiqued by professionals, like it's like, oh no, it's because your background, it's because of this, you're not driving from, or whatever the metric is there. It's like, oh, but yeah, because I was thinking about that. I was like, oh man, that probably turned things on that because the lack of range or the function or moving, it reset, and then you started developing.
And then also, I mean, just on a base level, like those three movements are so inherently transferable to everything else ever. A hinge pattern, a squat pattern, any press pattern, and obviously like we train accessories and other things too. So like you have a push overhead, you have a pull down overhead, and you have a squat pattern, you have a hinge pattern. Like those are just fundamental movement patterns too that will apply to everything. That's why every single sport uses strength and conditioning to supplement their sport. And so I basically have the best base possible to go transfer to other sports.
And a strong posterior chain.
Extremely strong, not necessary by any means strong. Yeah, like I'm way stronger than every climber in my gym. Like I can do 20 pull-ups in a row. I can do a weighted pull-up with over half my body weight. And then there's this girl that can't do a single pull-up, and she's way better than me in climbing in every way possible. Yeah. And so it's also, climbing is also fascinating like that too, because just so many body types.
Mobility too, especially with women, being able to hook things. Because when I started climbing, my friends were like, what the fuck? Like, because I could jump and do all I can't crimp very well. Crimping and for me, I'm like,
the specific stuff just takes time to adapt.
Yeah, but I was going for bouldering and stuff. Like I got up to like V7s my first week, and some of them, and they were like, okay, fuck this. Like, but then again, there's the big gap. Then you see the things you're good at.
And you could be really good at like the dynamic stuff because you're like explosive and coordinated. But then, if you have just a crimp ladder, it's not happening.
Skirt. So I was like, wow, I fucking tear my fingernails off. And then the endurance too, like going up and down like different walls or different climbs in general. It's like, it's such a different thing. But I think that's fun too, because then you have like your stationary movements, and then you're moving more in like thoracic figure eight patterns and getting your mobility. Because I'm sure going from powerlifting to like, depending, you could have been mobile.
I'm fairly mobile.
Yeah, I was gonna say, especially getting to a high caliber, accessory work really matters.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a lot of misconceptions of how mobile powerlifters are, or their lack of mobility, and I think a lot of that's just because a lot of beginners and intermediates don't ever do any of it.
Because I just noticed like sometimes when you do like twisting patterns or getting back into jiu-jitsu, my intercostal muscles, I'm like, oh fuck.
And some of it just takes time to adapt to. Like some, like if you don't go squat for a month and then you go back, you're like, oh, that's gonna feel kind of stiff and rough, and then 2 days later, it's easy again. And so a lot of it's just like you got to practice that too.
And it's a fun, like it's like climbing and stuff like it's a fun puzzle. It's a fun puzzle. It's a literal puzzle.
Yeah.
You know, and then with those two, I think those communities, they're really nice people.
They are
like public gyms are hard.
Yeah.
Like I forget how much I'm like, because everybody's all pissing on each other's fire hydrants. They're like, for me, I'll just ask anybody. I'm like, hey, you're better than me at this. Yeah. How would you approach this? And then you just watch them do it once.
That's what really annoyed me about climbing initially is that, so like in powerlifting, let's say you're 4 years into powerlifting. The culture in powerlifting is very much so that like a 4-year in person can and will teach someone who's 1 year in or 2 years in. Like it's very, very normal for every powerlifter to have a coach, or if they don't have a coach, they're following a program. It's, even if you're like just a pure hobby powerlifter, it kind of takes a lot. It takes a lot to be a hobby competitive powerlifter, to do like 1 meet a year or 2 meets a year and just try to be strong for your own sake. It takes a lot to do that. I learned real fast. There's a bunch of hobby climbers that don't try, that don't pay attention, that don't follow climbing, that don't know basic technique. And so I would think that same thing. I would go try to like ask someone who's slightly better than me, and they couldn't do help. They couldn't do shit. They couldn't do shit to help me. And I actually got so annoyed with that. Everyone was great. The community was nice, and I was making so many friends. But they all were like the worst teachers in the world.
Right.
Until you get to people who are like really good. once
like
you're
your
past
mindset,
that,
or I guess our, where it's just like, where am I missing this?
yeah.
Because even some people, like, I'd just be like, can I watch you do this?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, oh, he's turning his foot out
Yeah.
here and then pressing.
And you just got to find the right people to watch.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of going on the base assumption that I could watch, like, ask like almost anybody better than me, but I could not ask anybody better than me.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And there's difference too, height and stuff. It's such
Yeah.
a big variable.
And that
It's the
was a
same
big
with-
thing initially too. And even now is that, like, the way I do things tends to be a lot different than the way other people do things. Cause if like this, if one leg just won't cooperate, then I just like don't use that leg. And obviously other people don't climb that way.
Yeah.
And so getting beta from someone about what they would do is not the same of like what I would do. And so I definitely get frustrated with some people sometimes. I'm like, and I just need to, again, like, relax, calm down. It's not that serious, but
Fun people for us to bring in when I was climbing more is guys in jujitsu, because it's just like a horizontal vertical. So they're
Yeah.
very similar movements, like to get in and out of things. And some of the guys would be like, "Oh my gosh, this is like jujitsu with a wall." I was like, "Yeah."
literally.
No, it's like, and then once you get, like the inching with your fingers and stuff, a lot of that plays it, like, so I'm sure that you see parallels in a lot of other things too.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, there's a lot of parallels. I think the biggest thing too that I've noticed too, now going into multiple different sports, is it does open up my brain on a coaching level too to so many different things. Seeing how high level climbing coaches talk to their athletes, how they train, seeing how high level running coaches train, how they talk to their athletes. I think that on a broad scope too is going to make me even just a better powerlifting coach. I think is going to open me up to do strength and conditioning for a more broad range of athletes, because now I understand the specific demands of so many other sports so much better. But now I just have a bigger pool of things to learn from.
yeah,
And it's
muscle
interesting.
endurance,
Yeah.
activation points.
I mean, even
like-
just like basic training theory of like how elite marathoners train, and versus like how a specific powerlifter, her name is Agatha Shitko. She's like the best female powerlifter right now, without a doubt. Maybe even the best powerlifter, period. Like, she's absolutely insane, otherworldly. And her training is so far different from anything else. She does 7 SBD days a week, which is like an SBD, you just do squat, bench, deadlift, like all in one day. I mean, most powerlifters do one of those, if that. Most powerlifters train 4 or 5 days a week. Maybe they'll squat 3 days a week, bench like 4 days a week, and deadlift twice. That's fairly standard. She does all seven days a week. She does squat, bench, deadlift every single day. And like, that's kind of a wild concept that like no one even thinks about that. But when I look at like how elite marathoners train, it's the same. It makes, I'm like, oh, that's the same exact training theory. And so I wonder, I mean, I'm not going to try that on my athletes because that's still like kind of crazy. But
Yeah.
the theory behind it like makes sense. How can we apply this theory on a scaled down version?
Yeah, dude, I remember when I wanted to get way stronger for like Olympic lifting and stuff, we did some like those Russian like 100 a day, like I forget the name of it. It's like the Paulovich method, something like that, but very similar, where it's just so much volume, and you're doing it every day for like 100 days, and I squat a lot more, but the average person should never do anything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was like the Bulgarian method.
Yeah,
weightlifting
Bulgarian
in the
method.
80s.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
where they just maxed out multiple times a day, every single day.
Yeah, and whether
And
it's
it
like
was-
6 reps or 12
No, like
or
they
20.
just won. Like they did
Yeah.
an actual max
Oh,
out
yeah.
like every single day.
Yeah.
On the squat, the clean and jerk, and the snatch, all of them multiple times a day. And it was like, if you survived that, you were an Olympic champion. Everyone else didn't survive. They
Yeah,
got,
just
they got
cuts them
hurt
out.
and they dropped out. And it's just survival of the fittest.
This is fucking Sparta.
Yeah. And then people started bringing that into powerlifting too. It's like that was trendy in powerlifting for a while in like the 2010s. So people were just like squatting to a max every single day. And even I did that for a while and it
Yeah, I
didn't
was
work.
gonna
But I
say.
did it for like 3 weeks and it hit a PR. If I did it for longer than that, I would have gotten hurt too.
Yeah, exactly. So your body starts breaking down
Yeah.
to a.
But for 3 weeks, it worked. And
Yeah.
it was fun. I would never do that again. I wouldn't tell anyone to do that.
Yeah.
But if you just want to experiment sometimes, it's fun.
Yeah, try different things out.
Yeah.
How'd you get started with Charles?
We were both at Iron Ground. It was a powerlifting gym that was here in Murray, actually like right around the corner from here. And that's just the gym that I joined when I moved here. And he was already working at that gym too. So he was already doing his personal training there. And we just, we nodded what's up every day for like 2 years as gym bros do.
Yeah.
And he did a bodybuilding show initially, and then he was just kind of training for whatever. Eventually, he got into powerlifting too, and so he started powerlifting more. And so he just started asking me some questions, right? Started talking to me more because he knew that I coached. He knew that I was powerlifting there as obvious as I was there all the time. And we started becoming more friends like that because of that. And at his competition, which is at the gym, I was coaching other lifters at the gym that happened to be like in the same time frame as him. And so it's just like, okay, what do you need, right? Like if you're there on the day, powerlifting coaches, just everyone helps everybody powerlifting basically. And so if we have 4 people warming up on the same platform and they all are part of the same flight, everyone helps everybody of those 4 people. Like those 4 athletes now have 4 coaches around them basically. And so he was just there. And so it's just like, yeah, what do you need? But whatever. And he was just like, oh, cool, whatever. And I had seen him go through a couple different trainers. I had seen people like work with him for a little and then they weren't there anymore. I'm like, something happened. And so I made a joke that was basically like, hey, if you need help, like I got time. Because I had no in-person commitments at the time. All my powerlifting was online. All I did was go to the gym and then go hike with my dog. Like that was my whole life, which it was great. I loved it.
Yeah, it was a good job.
I was like, yeah, I was like, I got time. It's like I could personal train again. I was like, I have the social skills now.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, if you need help, like let me know. And then he was like, huh, I really do. And so yeah, that's how it started.
How long have you been working with him?
It's been just over 2 years now.
Cool. And I mean, you could see it too. You guys have some similarities too with personality.
Yeah, and we complement each other well with the things that we're not the same.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's huge. It's like creating the tribe, and then things overlap here and there, but having like skills in multiple areas is great. Because he was complimenting how good your programming is, like taking him away from working out 7 days a week, giving him different days and having him, he's like, I'm never going to have myself program again. He's like, Josh is always going to be programming.
Yeah, I think he has like 4 training days, but I'm pretty sure he usually does that over like a 10-day span. So he really has like a 10-day microcycle that's just 4 days that he just does whenever he needs to. But yeah, it's been working.
Yeah, because he was speaking your praises when we were there. He's like, man, I've never felt stronger. My body feels good at the recovery. And that happens too with a lot of coaches. You get it. As we get so deep in the sauce that we're trying to try something new every day and you get burnt out.
Yeah, and like if I show you his program, like it's so simple. It's simple, but it's just do the basics really, really well. Do them for a long time. Make like small, smart adjustments here and there. Like that's the key.
Yeah, pay attention, and that's something I think I haven't done in a while because I don't compete for anything. Is like pay attention to my numbers, because I was like, I'm not counting macros now. I'm not gonna look at my little numbers and I don't write them down. I was like, I was thinking about that the last couple months. I was like, I haven't done that in a long time. Maybe I need to get back to that a little bit.
I think there's some value here and there, depending.
It's like 3 months, like maybe like 3 months, and then coming back around. Same reason why I got a whoop strap again. It's like a certain amount of time, but then you can get too obsessed with data.
Yeah. I mean, I love data and I see it all the time, but there's definitely an art to like seeing it all and doing nothing with it. Purposefully doing nothing with it. And then waiting until now I need to make a decision about something. Now I'll go reference all my data and see what it looks like.
Because for me, I'll do cycles throughout the year. I'll be like, okay, here's a 3-month block for this. I'll work on this. These are what I'm going to utilize now. And then keep going across the board. Because for me, I was like, getting this again, I'm like, oh, I'm 37. I'm still under eating. Because I'm like, damn, I'm burning like 5,000 calories a day some days. And I'm not eating that. And, calories don't reset every day. It's not a magic wand when you wake up in this reality again. What are some of the goals that you want to accomplish this year, other than us doing Kings Peak in a day?
That's the main one, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm mostly focused on like my performance goals. Like that is definitely like one of my main driving points. Kind of feels like it gives me purpose. It gives me like something to do. I wake up and I have to have a good morning routine or a good. I have to eat my food. I have to sleep well because I have to perform well. Even if ultimately my goals are completely arbitrary, I just make it up because it sounds fun and interesting. Like that's kind of what allows me to organize my life around things, especially because I had no in-person commitment for years. The only thing that gave me structure was my own training for powerlifting. And so like that's just kind of a normal, natural thing for me.
Yeah, you got to put other things into place there. Creature habit. And
so like that's always like kind of the foundation of my routines, and everything is based around my training, which is based around like these, again, arbitrary goals of like Kings Peak in a day is just a cool thing to go do. Aside from that, again, Charles and I are trying to open a gym. I'm sure you guys talked about that.
Yep.
That's definitely the next big one. There's not a whole lot that I can do currently. We're just waiting for a building. And so we're all just kind of scanning websites, scanning commercial real estate websites, looking for a building.
And then I feel like some of them too, like something will pop up and then it's gone.
We've gotten close so many times or like 2 times already. We've gotten very close and things just fell through for multiple different reasons. And so once we sign a lease, bam, like then my job will really start ordering equipment, like putting everything together, running the gym on a daily basis. And so that's gonna be the next big thing, is like learning how to adjust all of my training schedules and everything to now me being at the gym constantly. But I think that'll be okay. I don't think that'll be too rough, honestly.
No, I'm sure you'll still have some good days to be
Yeah,
getting
because
up
we'll
in
have
the mountains.
treadmills, and I'll be able to run at the gym. I'll be able to just go pick up and run around the gym and be gone for an hour and then come back. Whatever, it'll be okay.
Yeah, I think that'll be killer. But yeah, that's and then are there any peaks or anything like any like hikes or backpacking trips that you want to go on?
In April, we're gonna try to go do the Zion Traverse. I tried reserve permits. I didn't get it. They were gone immediately. So we're gonna try to go get walk-on permits. We basically just show up the day before and pray that we get some. If that doesn't happen, then we're just gonna go, I don't know, to either Capitol Reef or Escalante and just figure it out for like 4 days, 5 days, and do whatever we want. But yeah, Zion Traverse is like 50-mile hike across all of Zion.
Oh, interesting.
And so we're gonna go backpack that in 4 days, hopefully. That's in April. That's next month. We were gonna try to do the rim to rim to rim Grand Canyon, but North Rim's closed and inaccessible.
Oh shit.
So it's unfortunate. Aside from that, I just want to hit as many peaks in the Cottonwoods as I can.
Hell yeah.
That's like the next kind of mini goal. Yeah.
Yeah, the one of the peaks I haven't done here is Nebo.
That's on the list too, because that's the tallest in the Wasatch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I want to do some of the taller peaks in Colorado as well. Maybe we could start lining up days because I'd be down
love
to go with you.
go spend, I don't know, a week in Colorado too. Yeah,
Yeah.
like in the San Juans and just go hit a couple 14ers.
One of my homies has a I think it's in Boulder though, but he owns a house out there. He's out here.
Well, I mean, depending where we go to, like the San Juans are only like 6 hours away.
Oh, true.
It's actually not that far.
Yeah.
Like they're in the southwestern corner,
Yeah.
and those are like I did one 14er there last summer, and that's just magical. Like it feels like you're on a different planet. It's fucking crazy. Being at that high elevation and just looking around, it's otherworldly.
I'm gonna
It's
go
so
hike Mount Olympus or something this weekend, I think. Well, that's one of the good things about the way our schedules are usually. We could do it whatever. Yeah, because some people are like, oh, well, what do you do on the weekends? I don't weekend. Monday through Friday is my weekend.
Yeah, I love that meme of like that random unemployed friend on a Tuesday and like,
yeah.
I've done that so many times.
I also like the ones of like going to pick up my organic milk, listen to 90s gangster rap. It's so silly.
Yeah.
So in closing, look into this camera here and give 3 tips that you think the audience could utilize.
Oh, geez.
So it could be words of advice. It could be life advice in general, just whatever you can think of.
It is that serious, but it's also not.
No, it's
like,
whatever it needs to be.
Fun.
It's so fun. Yeah.
Just enjoy life. Like, build your community. Tell your friends you love them. Tell your family you love them, and just go have a good time. Go do whatever you want. Go do what brings you fulfillment. Do what brings you joy. Like that's what this life's about, I think. And that you can make that real complex or real simple. Just keep it simple and just go have fun. Go enjoy life.
100%.
Go try hard. Go do things that scare you. And just see what you're capable of. You only get one life here, man. And just go enjoy it.
Exactly. We're built for experiences and evolution. Like, let's figure it out.
This sounds really harsh when I say this, but I promise I mean this with love. Like, you haven't killed yourself for a reason. What's that reason? Because I wanted to for a long time, and I know not everyone has, but you still didn't do it.
Yeah.
For some reason, you still have, every time you don't walk into traffic for some reason. Like, you're alive. Choose to be alive. Choose to be alive and make the most of it. Go live. There's a crazy world out there. It seems like it's all shit online, but if you do it in person, it's fucking great.
And you get real dopamine. It's none of this little bullshit.
Dopamine.
Yeah.
The world's
oxytocin.
a great place.
Yeah. Go outside. There is no outdoors. You're either indoors or you're in the world.
Yep. Go outside. Go experience the real world. People are amazing. Go have fun.
Hell yeah. Thanks for being here, brother. Thank you for listening. Just remember to get out of our minds, get outside and into our hearts, and remember that to do something hard today, because not everybody woke up this morning. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you.